weight of grief. In our private conference room, conversations are guided by empathy. Here, our client experience coordinators sit beside you, not just a cruel health planner service that truly reflects your loved one's story. Whether it's a traditional farewell or a personalized celebration of life, we take time to understand your wishes and offer thoughtful guidance. At the heart of our organization is a dedicated manager who ensures that everything runs smoothly, from the smallest detail to the final farewell. We understand that choosing a casket or a coffin is a deeply personal decision. In our selection room, we provide a calm, respectful environment where families can take their time and explore options. Options that reflect their loved one's life, beliefs, and preference. Our spacious chapel is where memories are honored and lives are celebrated. Designed with serenity and warmth, it provides a welcoming space for families and friends to come together in reflection and remembrance. For families choosing cremation, we offer on-site professional cremation services in a setting that upholds dignity, peace, and confidentiality. Our crematorium offers a seamless and respectful alternative to traditional burial, giving families flexibility while maintaining the highest standard of care.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning. put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning and welcome to the Tobago Updates morning show. Today is Friday, the 7th of November 2025. My name is Akinlabi Holder and it's good to be here with you. This is the final working day of the week. We know you have that last bit of energy to give it your all today. So I hope that you're up, you have everything ready. Your children are ready to go to school and they're also going to give it their all. And it is just good to be here with you this morning.
Yes, it's a rainy start this morning, Akinlabi.
Yes, very rainy. Very rainy. We hope that you are safe on the roads. We hope that persons are safe on the roads and they get to their destinations in one piece.
Right, and we look forward to having an excellent discussion this morning. We're going to start off this morning by shouting out our birthday people.
Yes, of course. You know, at Tobago Updates, we like to celebrate with those who are celebrating. So we're going to our birthday shout-outs now, and we want to say happy birthday to Miss Beverly Ramsey Moore, Mrs. Beverly Ramsey Moore, Madam President. Yes, Madam President of Tobago. You know that all of us in Tobago, we love and we cherish you so much and we wish you a happy birthday. We pray God's richest blessings upon you on this special day, and we know that you're going to be with your friends, your family, your loved ones. Even your pan fraternity, yes, those are the Tobago executive and cats and jammers. They're going to be making sure that you have a very good day today, and we pray that you stay safe on your special day.
Additionally, we have Mr. Keston Hernandez. Keston, it's your birthday today. Happy birthday to you, man. We just want to say that you continue to make those big moves, and we pray that God continue to bless you and your family on this special day.
Yes, and if you have anything, you're celebrating a birthday, wedding anniversary, you have a new job, you start a new business, you move into a new country, you got a new apartment, you finished your own home, whatever you're celebrating, you can share it with us here at Tobago Updates because we love to celebrate with those who are celebrating. This morning we have a pretty good lineup. You know, on Fridays we like to keep things casual, and we have a really interesting mix for you all this morning. So Chanel, why don't you tell the people what we have lined up for them today?
Well, let's first start off by what I'm most excited about, which is the men's International Men's Day debate that's going to be happening in the Assembly Legislature. Now, that one is big. And I think we're going to see a number of very familiar faces in that debate.
Is that so?
Yes. And I participated in the Women's Day debate.
Okay.
So I look forward to seeing how the men come out and, you know, bring their A game, right? But we're going to also be talking a bit with the Tobago Reforestation and Watershed Rehabilitation Program Manager, Ms. Kelly Manette, as well as Mr. Sean McCoon.
Yes, okay. And we also have here in the lineup Mr. Dave Elliott, who is the Public Relations Officer of the Tobago branch of the Royal Commonwealth Ex-Services League, and he's going to be talking about the Remembrance Day Parade for 2025. So we have a very interesting lineup of discussions for you all this morning, and we want to thank you all for viewing in on our Facebook Live and our YouTube page, yes, our YouTube channel, as well as number 102 on AMPLIA, 121 and 130 on Flow, and newly added 33 on Digicel. Yes, we are going to have these conversations, and we know you want to share it with your friends and family, so do us a favor. Share the live, share the live, share the live. When we come back, we'll begin our discussions.
This is how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show, and everybody's gonna know. Say it to them once again. They better look up below. This is your show, and everybody's gonna know. That's how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show. Live more.
You can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries, and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO, and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago. Relax, we will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
Quartz is well known as the Caribbean's largest retailer, providing consumers for generations with the very best products to enhance their homes. This year, we bring our expertise to businesses. Quartz Business Solutions will serve small, medium, and large companies with the very best products at the most competitive prices, backed by warranties and after-sales support. Hoteliers, office managers, restaurants, and so many more. Quartz Business Solutions, a brand of the Unicomer Group.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning and welcome back to the Tobago Updates Morning Show. And we have in studio with us this morning Mr. Sean McCool, who is the Program Manager at the Tobago Reforestation and Watershed Rehabilitation Program. And he's here to talk about the management, operations, and product development at Little Tobago. Yes, we don't really talk about Little Tobago that much here. So it's really good to have him on set to really discuss about Little Tobago. Good morning and welcome, sir.
Good morning, Akinabi. It's a pleasure as always to join you and, you know, to be here with everyone in studio.
So I see you have a big smile on your face. That means you're very excited to talk about the topic, not so?
Yeah, absolutely.
So tell us about Little Tobago and what is the Tobago Reforestation and Watershed Rehabilitation Program doing to revitalize Little Tobago?
Right, so Little Tobago is a protective area or preserve of sorts, right? We originally have we have been given the operational oversight of Little Tobago. Originally, the Department of Forestry and Natural Resources, which is under the Division of Food Security, Natural Resources, the Environment and Sustainable Development, they have the oversight at this time over it, but in terms of operationalizing and in terms of the regulatory framework and also the product development aspects of it, Tobago Reforestation has been blessed with the opportunity to really build out a structure and build out a system that is worthwhile for everybody in Tobago and the wider country as a whole.
So in terms of the specific plans for the island, because we know that Little Tobago is a bit of a bird sanctuary in a sense. People go there to do a lot of bird watching and that kind of thing. What are the plans for the island itself, specifically in terms of what projects you all seek to implement, what policies you seek to implement to improve the space?
Right. So the first thing that was done, some refurbishment would have been done on the jetty for access, because you have boats landing there and boats ferrying passengers or guests and tour guides, etc., to and from the island, from the nearest point, which is Speyside. So that was one part of the developmental process. The second thing you have is the bird watching or bird observation deck. There's a bird sanctuary up there, so we are doing some work on that as well. And then we also have the user fee and policy implementation, which I believe is the most pressing. We want to actually implement a system whereby you have a fee for foreigners, a fee for locals, and you break it down between adults and children. Of course, you have infants who will not pay. They are not categorized as a paying customer because they accompany an adult as a minor. And then also what you call an annual permit, which is paid for by the tour guides, the boat operators. Once you are ferrying or taking people onto the island of Little Tobago, you must have that permit in hand. So it's a very, very structured sort of system that we are putting in place. Reason being, we have seen the challenges rather down in, say, the Boko Reef Marine Park.
Yes.
So just to erring on this side of caution and really and truly building a framework that we take in front.
Yes.
We take in front, and we want something that is robust, we want something that is pragmatic, and we want something that everybody can get on board with. And we've gotten the buy-in of the boat operators and the stakeholders, the tourism stakeholders in particular in Speyside and environs are very excited about it, because they also see it as a way of improving their service. They also see it as a way of being able to provide that type of high-level service that is expected of us as a destination. Because when it comes to the tourism and the destination product development side of it, seeing that the northeast of Tobago is quite popular for its ecotourism, and we have quite an influx of visitors from Europe in particular, you must raise the bar and you must raise the level of service and product development that we have to offer.
So you said a number of things that I really want to segue into, but let's start off with the jetty. In terms of the rehabilitation work to the jetty, is it completed, or is that just maybe phase 1 or phase 2 completed, and there are more phases to go in terms of the rehabilitation of the jetty?
Right. So you would recall about 2 or maybe 3 years ago, the chief secretary, being the area representative, would have initiated some sort of upgrades and so on. So that was the first part, and then some other upgrades were done. That was not under the remit of reforestation. However, since we and the Department of Natural Resources and Forestry have a vested interest and we have operational oversight, we would like to see some more things done. So I would say that there are some upgrades that are upcoming. The particulars of that at this time I'm not in a position to talk about. However, we look forward to those continued developments which would add value and add to the user experience for safety, security, and comfort of those being ferried to and from the island. So that's that.
All right, thank you very much. I want to get into some more details, but we have to go for a short break, viewers, and when we come back on the other side of this very, very short break, we're going to continue conversations concerning the development of Little Tobago. So do us a favor, share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back after these short messages.
Welcome to Tobago Glass Supplies Limited, where innovation meets excellence and the service reigns supreme. Our commitment is simple: to provide high-quality, innovative aluminum, vinyl, and glass solutions for both commercial and residential spaces. At TGSL, we don't just meet needs, we exceed expectations. Our range includes the finest aluminum cladding options, setting new standards in durability and style. Driven by our passion to elevate, we aim to be the leading supplier in the Caribbean market while retaining our identity as a family-owned business. Because at Tobago Glass Supplies Limited, it's not just about products. It's about relationships, it's about you. Innovation, quality, service. That's Tobago Glass Supplies Limited.
Guys, there are some new developments in housing in Tobago, so it's goat racing time. This is 116, the show that keeps you in the know with all things Tobago House of Assembly. Each week, 116 delivers a fun and engaging overview of the latest developments, achievements, activities, and events of our dynamic assembly. So join me. Let's dive into the Tobago House of Assembly's Week in Review right here on 116.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back to the Tobago Updates Morning Show, and we're continuing conversations surrounding Little Tobago and its development. And you know what the people say, the more the merrier. So now in studio we have Miss Kelly Manette, who is the General Manager of the Tobago Reforestation and Watershed Rehabilitation Program. Good morning and welcome, Miss Manette.
Good morning. Thank you very much for having me.
So it's very good to have you in here. We could have more discussions and get really deeper into some of the issues that we are discussing right now. But I want to continue on something that we previously spoke about concerning the fee structure for persons to enter the island. And you're saying that there is one fee for locals and one for foreigners. But there's a group of people that sort of fit in between, and those are CARICOM nationals. Did you all consider CARICOM nationals, and which category would they fall under?
Right, so if we, from the face of it, if we were to look at the breakdown of the fee structure, they fall under the category of foreign nationals. Because at the end of the day, while we are all one Caribbean and we do push regional integration and collaboration and efforts, we are Trinidad and Tobago. We are the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. Little Tobago is a ward or is a part of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago as an offshore territory. So therefore, the same rules would apply to CARICOM nationals. So if you're from Grenada, Barbados, Jamaica, any one of the CARICOM countries, you would still be paying the foreigner's fee for adults or children, as the case may be.
Okay. So, Ms. Manette, I want to bring you into the conversation now. And earlier, Mr. Macoon was mentioning that there has been buy-in from the boat operators and the tour operators, and the tour guides, sorry, concerning paying maybe it might be an annual license to operate on Little Tobago.
Yeah.
I want to raise a concern, because we had that an instance on the western side of Tobago where reef boat operators did agree to create a system, a queuing system, to get passengers to go on the boat, to kind of limit the amount of touting we used to see down on that end. And as soon as the policy was implemented, some of them decided to undermine the policy and it disintegrated into nothing. What do you all have in place to make sure that those who agreed to the policy, to the license, paying for the license, adhere to it?
All right. So with regard to the license, what we do have in place and we are hoping to roll out and implement is the fact that we can monitor our tour operators as well as the users who have access to license through not only online checks and balances, but also on the ground, like ground truthing. So we will have that monitoring system in place whereby staff members can also access Little Tobago as well as the database of the persons with license. And following that, we will have some implementation of possibly some verification of the bans and the persons accessing Little Tobago on a daily basis. So that is something we are working actively with the division to also implement.
I also want to go in a little further in terms of health and safety, because we've seen a number of incidents in the Buku Marine Park.
Yes.
And it's very concerning. A lot of boat operators, they're not following the best of regulations to ensure the safety of the passengers.
Yes.
What do you all foresee that you could put into place to also ensure, because once these works have been done and the groundwork has been and the foundation has been laid, we expect to have an increased number of visitors to Little Tobago. What would you all put in place to ensure the health and safety of those clients that will be utilizing those tour operators, those boat operators?
All right. So one of the tools that we are going to use is basically a checklist in terms of your compliance with the maritime regulations. So for example, health and safety and maritime regulations. So that includes the number of life jackets on the vessels, as well as the registration and the annual license of the boats and the number of passengers that it is licensed to carry out on a daily basis. So we will have that mechanism in place whereby we have that ground truth and, as I said, a checklist to make sure that there is compliance. And once that is enforced and we do have a lack of compliance, then the license will not be issued to those boat operators.
Okay, so the next question I was going to go into was in terms of persons who break the laws, what is the penalty for, but I guess it's the revocation of the license.
The revocation of the license at the moment, but we hope to add some more teeth to that structure as well in terms of the laws. That may take a bit more time, but we're trying to see what we can do in the meanwhile to start implementing what we can on the ground.
Okay, so in terms of other policies and or initiatives or projects to improve the island, apart from the jetty, the observation deck, and the operation license, are there any other initiatives towards developing the island?
Well, at the moment, we are basically working together with the Department of Forestry under the Division of Natural Resources, Food Security, Natural Resources and the Environment. So we are partnering with them to assist where we can in terms of some of the infrastructural development. So for example, I think the bird viewing platform, we are trying to see where we can assist in terms of whether it's materials, labor, any technical assistance that we can lend and support to the department as they execute their mandate as well. We are fully on board and working with them for that purpose.
So I know that the two, Little Tobago, it sort of crosses two lines of responsibilities across two divisions, while the natural resource falls under the division of, I don't want to say agriculture, it's food security.
Food security.
Falls under the division of food security. It's also a tourist attraction, and tourism falls under the division of tourism, culture, antiquities, and transportation. Yeah. Has there been any collaboration between the two divisions in terms of the way forward in developing the island as a tourism product?
Right. So in terms of direct collaboration with the Division of Tourism, that has not happened yet, but we are always open to collaborative efforts. However, we have a close ally in the Tobago Tourism Agency Limited. We would have done some initial discussions with them before, where green space development and green space as a ecotourism product development offering is concerned, Little Tobago was part of the conversation, so we intend to continue those conversations. We also spoke about the Scarborough Botanical Gardens, where we are building out our walking tours in preparation for the cruise ship season. So certainly Little Tobago is also part and parcel of that discussion. And we intend to capitalize on the influx of visitors because, as you know, we're going into, as they call, peak season now.
Yes.
High season. So we will have an influx of visitors from Europe, North America, but mostly Europe in terms of foreign visitors. Condor is back. We also have British Airways continuing with us. So that is, I would imagine, one of the ways that we can capitalize on that influx of people by partnering with TTAL where needs be to refine the product as an ecotourism product, as a green product, with, of course, the bird observation, bird watching, and then, of course, you have some of the best diving in the world right here in Northeast Tobago as part of our tourism product offering.
So, Ms. Manette, I have one more question concerning collaborations and policies and that kind of thing, and how they work together. Has there been any other discussion in terms of with other stakeholders concerning the enforcement of regulations and rules and laws that already exist for the operation within marine parks or operation of boats, for example, the police, the Coast Guard, to help enforce those regulations with the boaters?
Well, in terms of that collaboration, it is an ongoing process. So we have started conversations basically with the maritime services so that we can also have a first-hand view in terms of what is required from on the side of the boat operators as well as from the Tobago Reforestation Program to enable us to assist in the enforcement. So it is an ongoing program, and we are continuing that discussion with the other stakeholders such as the Coast Guard, but also we're incorporating the civil society network as well and the community in these conversations. So it's not only from an organizational standpoint, but also more like citizen science as well, where we have the on-the-ground reporting as well taking place.
All right. You have any other closing statements you'd like to make?
Well, I just want to also say, a heartfelt thank you to the manager of Blue Waters Inn, Mr. Reginald McLean, and he's also the Hotel Association president. He has been so gracious in reaching out to also partner with us as a private sector partner for the actioning and operationalizing of this framework for Little Tobago from Blue Waters Inn. You know, they're a major private sector stakeholder and one of the noteworthy accommodation sector operations that really drive what we have in the Northeast for accommodation. So they have been so gracious in reaching out and wanting to partner with us. So I just wanted to say thank you to him and his team, and also all of the other stakeholders that we'd be engaging with going forward.
All right, thank you very much, Ms. Kelly Manette and Mr. Sean Mokun, for joining us this morning to tell us about the management, operations, and product development at Little Tobago. Viewers, you can look out for it. There's going to be much development on Little Tobago, so you can look out for that improvement of the experience when you visit the island. We have to go for a break, but when we come back on the other side of that break, we're going to be having discussions with Mr. Dave Elliott, and we're going to be talking about Remembrance Day Parade 2025. So do us a favor, share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back after these messages.
Are you in a dispute with a registered investment service provider of the TTSEC? Or maybe you're the victim of an investment scam? You can lodge a complaint or submit an anonymous tip to the Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission. Download our Investor Protection app or go to ttsec.org.tt to access our complaint form or submit an anonymous tip. Write a clear summary of your complaint. Submit copies of supporting documents along with the originals for verification. Provide a copy of the feedback received from the entity regarding your complaint. All investor complaints or scam reports submitted by the public are acknowledged and reviewed by the TTSEC. Investigations are pursued based on the outcome of the review. Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission, protecting the interests of investors and the public. You invest, we protect. Everyone benefits.
Elderly can't have fun too. We're talking good food, proper music, lots of games, and a day at the beach they will never forget. From the time we left the compound at Heavenly Care Home for the Elderly, the vibe was already established. Wheels up and seatbelts on. Watch now, when we touched down in Pigeon Point, everybody was ready for excitement. But before anything could take place, we had to secure our bellies. You ever play bingo by the beachside? Well, that was the first activity on the roster, and boy did these seniors have fun. However, others wanted something more physical, so we brought out the ring toss, and not even arthritis could have stopped them. Well, I was blown away at how straight these people were. Are you sure this is a home for the elderly? Nothing beats a Jet 2 holiday, but nothing beats the song of Good Steel Pan by the shores while we take a dip in Tobago's finest water. Wait, more food again? This is my type of event. The energy was amazing and nothing short of a blessing. Pick up Heavenly Care Home for the elderly, because joy doesn't retire, laughter doesn't age, and memories like these last forever.
To a stranger,
it's a different type of thing down there. Man, we party till we drop down there. With a lot of pretty girls down there, down in Tobago.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning and welcome back to the Tobago Updates morning show. And you might be wondering why I'm wearing this red puppy right here. Well, that's because this Sunday is Remembrance Day 2025, and we have in studio to discuss Remembrance Day 2025 with us Mr. Dave Elliott, who is the Public Relations Officer of the Tobago branch of the Royal Commonwealth Ex-Services League. Good morning and welcome, sir.
Hello and good morning.
So tell us, what exactly is the Royal Commonwealth Ex-Services League?
Well, this organization was formed by Mr. Edwin George a while back. He was a former police officer, and the entire concept behind the league was to be able to remember and pay homage to all those servicemen who would have served in World Wars I and II in the island. Internationally, it's been known as Memorial Day, Armistice Day, Remembrance Day. Armistice Day because the armistice was kind of like a peace treaty. The agreement to end the war was signed between the Allies and Germany in 1819 in England. It happened on 11 o'clock in the month of November, right? This is the reason for Remembrance Day, as we know it, to be held the closest Sunday to the 11th in the month of November. The first cannon is actually shot at 11 o'clock. So it's 11th on the 11th hour of the 11th month of the 11th day of the 11th month. Okay. So the league itself was formed by Mr. George, and today we are aligned with our mother company in Canada. We have associations around the world, and we have our league here in Tobago. We are a full complement of executive and members, and every year we participate in the puppy distribution. As you remember as a child, I'm sure, having to wear a puppy at school.
Yes.
Back then it probably was 50 cents. Today's cents. But the puppy wearing and puppy purchasing, it goes on around the world. If you look in BBC, everybody wears the puppy. So it goes towards our keeping the league alive here in Tobago.
And in terms of those who serve, when you say those who serve, are we talking about soldiers only?
All right, it's called the Ex-Services League because we have persons like, we have sailors served, we have soldiers, we have airmen served. In some cases, we have horses that are recognized, dogs that were served, and pigeons, right? Because, after a while, pigeons were carrying messages, horses were part of the entire thing, dogs were part of the entire thing as well, too. Persons who would have served, particularly around those persons who participate in the parade. This is, of all the parades in Tobago, this is the only parades where we don't have everybody. But the persons participating in the parade would have been those who would have served. We have scouts, scouts, we have Boys Brigade, they were involved, Girl Guides, they were involved, right? Apart from the normal military personnel that you would have, which is the soldiers, sailors, the cadet force was also involved as part of the service during World Wars I and II. Incidentally, we happen to have one person still alive here in Tobago, Mr. Igor. He would have given us his story when he left Lekoto. He still lives at Lekoto.
Right.
Where he left Lekoto and he went and he trained in Guyana to be shipped to England to participate in the war at that time.
Okay, and in terms of what is planned for this year's parade?
Well, traditionally, of all the military parades that happens in Tobago, this parade is a very short one. It's short but intense. It's a very ceremonial parade. What happens is what we call a lot of ceremonial drill that takes place. But this year, I think because of the SOE that we are possibly still under, we have a scale-down version where there won't be the physical parade or the marching from the fire station to James Park. The troops won't be on parade. However, there will be the wreath laying ceremony where on this Sunday, versus where we used to have wreaths being laid, this year we'll only be having 3 wreaths being laid. But apart from that, the normal prayers and the recognition of those who would have been there and the sounding of the cannons. In light of that, this afternoon there is a dress rehearsal and there will be some traffic restrictions uptown Scarborough around James Park area. And I don't think there will be any parking allowed in what they refer to as Stanbridge Car Park, because that's where the detonations will be taking place to simulate the sounding of the cannons on that day. So
the persons who are in the protective services and the various different corps, they would understand the importance of Remembrance Day. But for the average person on the road, could you explain why Remembrance Day should be something important to them, that it should be something that they should commemorate?
Well, there's a lot of things that we take for granted here, or freedoms, and that is primarily why they celebrate Remembrance Day. People who would have, well, we have world wars or wars, is people protecting your sovereignty. Trinidad and Tobago was part of England, and during World Wars I and II, there were persons from Tobago that would have gone to England to participate in the war. Some people that I would have known, or president's father went to Egypt. I have a great uncle that probably went to London as well too. I have pictures of him in his uniform. And other persons have grandfathers and great-grandfathers who would have gone to the war. And it's primarily to protect your freedom. The reason why we walk up and down in Scarborough and you're drinking, you could drink a beer and it's nobody's business. Tobago is one of the most carefree places in the world, apart from the laws, and it's primarily because of that. People go to fight to protect your freedom. The situation supposedly that happened in Venezuela, the public is coming out to protect their freedom, what they term as their freedom and their sovereignty. right? So what the puppy wearing actually does, the puppy is actually worn because during one of the wars, right outside a field tent, after a battle, a bloody battle, one of the surgeons, he would have happened to look outside. You see, like sometimes after the rainfall, you see flowers popping up out of the ground. And these poppies actually start to bloom. The field is called Flanders Field. And these poppies started to bloom over the entire area. And for that reason, the poppy is actually, after the end of the war, when the armistice was signed, the poppy was worn as a symbol to signify the end of the war, and hey, we would not forget people and the sacrifice that they would have made. So this is why it's called Remembrance Day. In light of that as well, we sell puppies, part of the league, which is what we do every year around this time. We also recently would have published a book called Tobago Remembers. It's about the Tobagonians in the world wars. Right, the book is $20.
Where can they get it?
You could call me 495-8214. We have our president. You could call us as well, Mrs. Linda Eastman in Scarborough. It gives you information about the wars, those who would have participated. And for persons who are interested, anytime you go up to James Park, take a look on the cenotaph, you just might see somebody that you know, your name is there. One gentleman called me, said he knows his grandfather is the only corporal on the wall, right? And he's proud of that. And we would go there and look at every now and again. And after the parade, we have a luncheon where we celebrate with the veterans and their children or their grandchildren. This happens afterwards. It's almost like a closed event, but people invite the general, not the general public, but
yes.
the people
yes.
are reminded at that event. So the public are invited; they could come out and have a look at the wreath laying ceremony. Is no longer a parade for this year, and this is on Sunday. You can come up from about, let's say, 10:30.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Dave Elliott, for joining us and giving that information concerning Remembrance Day 2025. It is on this Sunday up at James Park, and we want to give our respect and remembrance and honor and commemorate those who have sacrificed their lives for our freedoms. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to go for a short break, but when we come back, we'll be having conversations with Justin John and Jay Allen, and they're going to be talking about International Men's Day debate that is targeted for next week, Monday. So do us a favor, share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back after these messages.
Goals, we've got them. At S&R Hair Fantasy, we provide a wide variety of quality hair, the latest hair accessories, adult toys, skin lightening products, female underwear, and much more under one roof. Check us out on Shelbourne Street in Plymouth or call us at 317-0808. We're open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. S&R Hair Fantasy for queens who know exactly what they want.
The Caribbean is more than just a place. It's a spirit, resilient, vibrant, and full of possibility. It's who we are and the heart of everything we do. For over 150 years, we've been right here, invested in the Caribbean, its people, and its progress. And today, we're going even further. We're deepening our commitment to the region, continuing to invest in the networks, services, and digital solutions that move Caribbean businesses forward. Whether you are a mid-sized business or a multinational player, we bring you resilient connectivity, personalized service, and tailored IT solutions, all powered by local teams that truly have your back. We're here to help you navigate challenges, grow, and achieve your goals with practical solutions, reliable networks, and a partnership rooted in trust and your long-term success. Liberty Business, rooted in the Caribbean, committed to you.
Coconut's Cafe, the buffet restaurant that specializes in all your tasty local dishes. For breakfast and for lunch. Breakfast includes coconut bake and sada roti, served with chokers, buljoil, and sausages in tomato sauce. Not forgetting beef and cheese pies, shepherd's pie, macaroni pie, and rice in various styles. Meats served in a variety of flavors, garden salads, and pasta salads. All this accompanied by fruit juices, coconut water, your choice of a great combination to appease your taste buds. So call us today to order, as we are here to accommodate your busy schedules or if you are having a cooking day off.
Want to get better? Where to start? What kind of exercise to do? What to eat? How to get restful sleep? Need a doctor to search for root cause? Look no further. Come to Majuba Hill Lifestyle Center Foundation at our Wellness Center in Goodwood, or Food Hub in Darrow Springs, Scarborough, or Doctor's Office in Goodwood and Darrow Spring. Contact 49 Swift 4979 438.
Our world is filled with rhythm. Rhythm that's unapologetic, infectious, timeless. Rhythm is commitment in action. It's how we show up for each other with unrelenting support that goes the distance. Rhythm lives in the tiny beats of our most intimate moments and the seismic roars of our biggest achievements. Rhythm is resilience in motion. So even when things go out of sync, we do what it takes to bring the rhythm back. At Flow, we understand your rhythm because we live it. That's why we're dedicated to building a network as resilient as you, with a team of familiar faces working every day to keep you on beat. You're at the heart of everything we do, and our commitment is to keep your rhythm flowing, no matter what.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Morning and welcome back to the morning show right here on Tobago Updates. This morning we continue our discussions, and I have the privilege of sitting in studio and chatting with two handsome young men from the Assembly Legislature. This morning I'm chatting with Ajay Allen, who's the outreach officer, as well as Justin John, who's the legal assistant at the Assembly Legislature. And this morning we're talking about the International Men's Day debates.
Correct.
Excellent. Now, I'm excited about this because, I had my own participation in the Women's Day debate, and that was an excellent opportunity, just to get your feet wet and decide whether or not this is something that you see yourself being able to do in the future or not, but also being able to have your voice heard. Talk to us a bit about this project, Justin, and why it's important for men to also be involved in these type of debates this time around.
So what we have always realized, and many research goes back to it, there's always a disparity when it comes to gender-related projects. You always see, for example, International Women's Day is very much internationally renowned and internationally recognized. However, International Men's Day is not. We found it fitting that, yes, we always host the International Women's Day debate, but why not give the gentlemen a chance? Yes, their voices have always been in the, August House. However, we want to have them debate on issues that affect them. So, for example, this year we are focusing on the themes that International Men's Day comes from, men's struggles, men's mental health, and also men's identity. And it's time that we have conversations on these very touchy topics, but let's have the men discuss them.
Right. Ajay, tell us a bit about the motion that's being debated on, and how were the men chosen for this debate?
Okay, so what we did this time, we wanted to have a multi-sectorial approach, because the motion speaks to a sustainable multi-sectoral program, sustainable program as well, to have guys come and begin to express their feelings and share their issues. And this year we used a different approach than the women. So it was open for online applications, and we also went to the divisions this year. So we wrote to the administrators requesting representative, and most of the divisions did send representatives as well. So we don't want some of these guys to go back out into their divisions and be advocates for what happened at the legislature, because they would be exposed to the standing orders and the processes and the rigors that goes through it. And we are adamant in teaching them the correct way things work, and teach them the paperwork or the document side of it. So it's not just the clips on Trini memes or those sensational moments that we see in the house. I know we had a lot recently, but it goes beyond some of those moments and understanding the work of the legislature.
Excellent. How many guys will be participating in this year's Men's Day debate?
So we'll be just below 20, and we have a wide range of age groups. So we have guys who are pretty close to retirement participating. We have secondary school guys. I think the youngest we have is a second former from Bishop's High School who is actively participating in the debate as well.
Wow. Justin, tell us about this multi-sectorial approach that is being used for this particular motion, and what are some of the goals that you hope to achieve from this?
So when we had some of our training, for example, we tapped the gender unit from the Division of Health, and one of their stakeholder sessions kind of went into the issues men have, especially in our society. So they looked at education. How do you feel when you are in school? How do you feel when you are in the workplace? And some of the discussions came to the fact that we have neglected the boy, and therefore the man is now a problem. So this multi-sectoral issue really looks at the fact that it's not just the state, but it's all avenues and all areas of our society. So we want to bring our debaters together to, put forward a policy in terms of education, healthcare, and also how we can incorporate non-governmental organizations, the church, for example, because all of society's men and women. So all of these areas need to have the say of men, and also be able to properly take care of them and allow them to learn better coping mechanisms. For example, we looked at also the fact that there's a lot of men committing suicide. We have the higher rate of suicide in men, and looking at how, yes, you don't see many young men. Yes, we have had the few young men who've taken their lives, but the higher rate of suicide is actually persons who are 60 plus, men who are 60 plus. So now that's a men's identity issue. So now you have to shift also to look at how you could, help those older men find themselves in this retirement where they've lost their identity as whether it be a police officer or a fireman, and, allow them to go forward. So that's where the multi-sectoral part of it comes from.
Excellent. And so, for the persons looking on and saying, okay, how can I be a part of this next time around? Because I didn't know this was happening. There's always that person or that group of people who don't get the message. How can they participate in this type of thing moving forward?
Okay, so you can tune in on our social media platforms. That's Assembly Legislature, YouTube and Facebook. And what you can also do is come into the chamber as well and listen and hear the raw conversations on cut as well. But I want to add a little bit to what Justin had said before in terms of the multi-sectorial approach. One of the things we have discovered is funding for meal-based programs is challenging. And even the official from the Division of Health indicated that it's something they would have identified. And because it's not a UN-recognized event, you find where international organizations have challenges funding it. And sometimes that's meant we are our own problem in a number of areas. So you would find where we would not go to men's events. Finding safe space for men is a serious challenge. Some of our training sessions felt like counseling sessions in some cases because our issues are so common, but we simply don't speak. Or we speak in corners where there's absolutely no female presence or very little. Right. I mean, we had a conversation internal at work. And one of the guys, they were saying, staff was saying, yeah, he don't talk, he don't have nothing to say. And when we sat, that guy shared some critical points. Right. So I think even beyond today, we have content that we are going to be posting on our social media. I mean, we have content with people like Father Forrester being a part of it. Keegan the Noon sharing his perspective. We had even our clerk, Mr. Lincoln Nelson, sitting with staff and sharing his journey as a father. And him now having to learn how to love his son and to begin to hug him and let him know I love him and breaking some of those cultural trends as well. So we do have a number of content that would be released going forward as well.
Excellent, and we look forward to that. So even as we close off the discussion, please remind us when this debate will be happening and how can persons either be a part by attending or viewing online.
So the International Men's Day debate is held at the Assembly Legislature on Monday 10th. So that's this Monday coming at 10 a.m. So we are inviting members of the public to come into the chamber, or you could tune into our Facebook live stream or our YouTube live stream. And please join. You are going to be blown away by the contributions made by these members, because they are members in standing right now. And it's really discussions that I want every person in society to listen to. So tune in on Monday and hear what the fellas have to say.
Excellent. And we look forward to hearing both sides of the debate, Dr. For and again. So we want to thank you guys so much for doing an excellent job at representing the Assembly Legislature here this morning. And guys, you have heard it here. The International Men's Day debate is happening on the 10th of November at 10 a.m. and it will be live broadcasted on their Facebook page and on their YouTube. So I hope that we here at Tobago Updates will also be carrying that stream so you can be a part of looking at that. Guys, we want to thank you so much and say have a great day. But guys, we're going to take a quick break right here and we'll be back right after this. See you soon.
As a man, you have to get it done by any means necessary. And so you know that there is no option for failure. And so when that time comes that you may potentially fail, how do you deal with that? And so when you see someone hangs themselves or commit suicide, you have to go back to the root cause of what would have brought that person to that point. And that is why programs such as this is important.
They said I couldn't make it, they laughed, called me crazy, but I kept my focus, stay committed, never lazy. Now I'm breaking through, rising up above the crowd. I'm living proof, I'ma say it.
What does it mean to be a man?
A Tobago man is resilient,
disciplined,
confident,
royal,
self-reliant. A Tobago man is responsible.
Men have so much expectation from society, from the world at large, from family. There is so much expected of the male man. And when you look around in society, men are tired, men are burdened, men are the breadwinners, the protectors, the superhero that doesn't wear the cape. Men are called to be the head, the leaders, but the stats shows presently that most men die before their spouse, because all men do is just work to try to provide, to try to build a family, men don't even have the opportunity to take the time to have proper discourse. I'm talking about a real male man that has took his place in society. I ain't talking about a man that just living idly by the rum shop or just wasting his life away. I'm talking about the man that decides to take his responsibility very seriously. There is so much. Imagine just like for me, for instance, sometimes I say to myself, when can I find the balance? And I've come up with a solution. Just find your rhythm and work your rhythm, because you would never find the balance as a good man. You would never ever find the balance as a good. From the time you accomplish something, you're on to the next.
Men generally speaking, not in every case, generally speaking, the man is lazy. Look at the woman. The woman gets into a job and she is spending every minute that she has in self-improvement. Where is man in all of this? Man is in the rum shop. Man is on the bridge. Man is peddling drugs. Yes, that's the reality that we all face. And unless we come to as men and decide that this is not the way to go, but we need now to pull ourselves together and be creative, be productive, do the right thing.
Identity of men is what's up for question. I know some years ago, in my father time and even before, a man would have been defined by going out in the garden, providing for his family, and that's about it. But now we have to be one who have to be balancing our emotions, having emotional intelligence, really balancing one's perspective, understanding that we can't be flying off the handle, and even our position in terms of stating of opinion is one that we may have to rein in, or we could be cancelled because that's the trendy thing, you know. But I must say that it's still a learning experience for all men.
I grew up in a village where you have naturally aggressive men. I'm from Plymouth, and I mean it's known around the space. But in terms of love, you as a man, you have to know when to give, especially in terms of children, because I have a son that is 17 years of age and I love him to death. But that cannot prevent you from doing what is right and laying down the law when it's necessary. But you also have to make them comfortable enough to have the conversation with you about anything and everything. And sometimes you have to know basically when to tone down this aggression and be welcoming and be warm. You have to make them feel that you are confident that they can rely on you, that they can relate to you, and that they can call on you at all times.
Now, we're going to do a toast to International Men's Day, to men talking, because real men talk, and men coming together as a community. Hip hip.
Hooray.
Cheers.
There, and that's your reminder to be sure to stay tuned to that International Men's Day debate that's happening on Monday, 10th of November at 10 a.m. Remember that, you know, this is the opportunity for men to have their say as it pertains to men's issues. Guys, this is where we wrap the morning show here, but we do not wrap all of our programming. We go straight over to Beneath the Surface with Rhea George, and this morning she'll be having a special conversation with Assemblyman Niall George. So as you stay with us this morning, remember to help us by sharing the live, share the live, share the live.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
hearing screenings are coming to Tobago in the month of October. Persons of all ages in need of hearing tests are invited to go to the Roxborough Hospital on October 7th or stop in at the Scarborough Public Library at the Anne Mitchell Gift Auditorium on October 8th or October 9th. Services are available from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. This 3-day clinical initiative is a collaborative one among the Division of Health, Wellness and Social Protection, the Tobago Regional Health Authority, and the Trinidad and Tobago Association for the Hearing Impaired.
Offered are all walk-in. There aren't any prerequisite. You could walk in and you would be attended. If attendance cannot be given at that point in time, an appointment will be given for further assessment. The services being provided at these sessions are diagnostic hearing screening, neonatal hearing screening, services of hearing aid, batteries, dry fit, and many other services.
Hearing screening is absolutely so important in the population. If you screen them early and you get to understand why they have lost their hearing, you can intervene before it progresses into full deafness. The last time this was done, we recognized that it was really oversubscribed. A lot of elderly people qualified for hearing aids. So we have to now move beyond that and be able to have this collaboration ongoing. We also have a lot of kids are waiting for hearing screening, and most of these kids are placed on a waiting list for service in Trinidad. So now we'll be able to take care of all of that, and we'll be able to screen and intervene in as much of the elderly as we can and make sure that they get the necessary hearing apparatus.
For more information about this upcoming service, call Tahi's main office in Trinidad at 623-0612 or 787-8045.
That was a production of the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly.
You're viewing Tobago Updates Television, your exclusive guest Tobago, broadcasting the beauty of this island paradise to the world.
It's a brand new morning.
Good morning, Tobago, and welcome this morning to GMT. It's a very special series, Beneath the Surface, Straight Talk, No Chaser. I'm your host this morning, Rhea Richardson George, and this is the day that the Lord has made, and we will rejoice and be glad in it. Certainly, we've had an interesting week thus far, chatting with assemblymen, taking a look at some of their accomplishments, achievements, and some of their goals for the future as we look forward to an upcoming election. For those of you joining us, you can catch us on AMPLIA channel 102, Digicel channel 33, Flow channel 121 and 130, and online Facebook and YouTube. We're really happy to be with you this morning. Viewers, this morning we are chatting with Assemblyman Niall George, of the area representative for Plymouth Blackrock, also the Assistant Secretary for the Division of Tourism, Culture, Antiquities and Transportation. Again, it is Straight Talk, No Chaser. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, Rhea. Good morning, Tobago.
It's good to have you on the program with us today.
It's good to be here.
Now, you walked in, I mean, before the interview started, and you indicated that you were tired. And I made a joke. I said, I'm tired, but you don't do anything. What do you do?
Well, I mean, it's easy from the outside looking into to form a certain narrative. But if you look at the recently concluded Carnival, before that we had Dodge Diving, before that we had Heritage Festival, before that we had Rhythm and Soul, and I mean, all of that, if you have been paying attention, you would have seen me ever present in all of those activities. So it's just a culmination of things going forward. But I mean, I have gotten accustomed to being tired. You asked the questions, I answered,
right.
But it's just a normal part of the job.
All right. Now we're going to get into some of those things. And let me just let make it clear here that was just a joke. All right. And he took it as a joke. All right. Before getting into office, I mean, want to talk a little bit about Niall George before he was Assemblyman and Niall George. What were you involved in? Who was Niall George before politics?
Well, I'm just an ordinary community person. I worked at WASA. I managed Tokeville football team. I was the captain of Plymouth Heroes All Fours team, a member of the village council. Just everything in and around my community I would be involved in. Even when I wasn't the manager, I mean, I love sports. I love community things, you know. So it's just part of me being involved in community-oriented stuff.
And is it what you love, community work?
Yes, I love community work, but my passion is really for sport. I'm an avid sport fan. I look at anything sport. I mean, the job does not allow me to follow sports like I would have before, you know. But one thing that I would say is that sometimes you really do not understand your passion, some of your passions, until you are thrown into it. Because I came into culture, no cultural background, nothing like that. But I mean, I have grown to love it. I mean, it's a part of me now. I mean, going to heritage festivals and so forth, it's before you would know, I mean, I would have gone to like Plymouth, you know.
One or two shows.
But being involved now and being a part of the organizing process and getting involved in more and more of these activities, I have grown to understand and appreciate our culture more, and I really love it.
Okay. All right, now we're getting our feet wet here.
Yeah, indeed.
All right. Now, you would have been, in fact, when you took office 4 years ago, you started off in the position of Deputy Presiding Officer.
No, I did not.
You did not?
No, I started off as Assistant Secretary in the Division of Settlements, Public Utilities,
and that was the first stint.
And that was the first stint.
Right.
I then became the Deputy Presiding Officer when Mr. Sampson became the Secretary of Community Development, Youth Development and Sport. He could no longer hold the position of Deputy Presiding Officer, so I then stepped into the role of Deputy Presiding Officer.
All right. Let's talk about some of the lessons learned during that time. Again, you came from a background of no politics, and here you are now.
Yes, and it was a bit of a culture shock, a change in terms of the expectations of persons. It wasn't only not being in politics, but remember, our administration is an administration of hope, and the expectations were were humongous, and we had to try to manage some of these expectations, because the reality is it's not an infinite pool of resources, and you have to now manage these resources. And one thing that I'm very proud of this administration is that we have chosen the direction of taking care of people over things. I mean, if you look at the infrastructure on the island, I mean, it's aging and it needs some care. But we are also coming out of COVID, and if you would appreciate the terms of the social programs, and I mean, one of the first things we did is we improved the wages of CPEP and URP workers and the working conditions. I mean, in settlements, we gave the largest distribution of grants, one-off, more than $10 million at one point in time. If you look at health, you would have seen over 3,000 cataract surgeries, funeral assistant. Well, the Ministry of Social Development took back the permanent food card, so we had to implement the food card system on this island. And if you go across the board, you would notice that the focus is on helping people. We had the 10-on, 10-off program at Works as well. So I'm very proud of that. But in terms of me personally, I would admit that I have not gotten everything right. It's a steep learning curve, and I have been going along and improving as I go along. There are some things that I've done wrong. There are some things that I've done well. And that's what it's all about. I mean, Tobago voted 14 novices into office. None of us had ever been in government before. And when I look back at...
Eyes wide open. Voted 14 novices
into office. We inherited a debt of almost $900 million. And you would hear the contractors crying for their money. We have never received $900 million in terms of development allocation in 1 year. So we have to balance the development of the island and paying bills and dealing with a base that is really in need of assistance. So looking at all things put together, I'm extremely proud of what we have done as an administration.
All right. Now, I know I had asked about, in fact, the lessons learned as in terms of you, and you shared some of what you've been involved in. But what were some of the key lessons that you would have learned along the way? And this is when you stepped into the role of Deputy Presiding Officer. Well,
the role of Deputy Presiding Officer is really a simple one, because there is the Presiding Officer. I am there to assist her. So she would really deal with the legislature functions. She would make sure and keep me in the loop. So as any time that I have to fill in, I am in the know. But that's really the role of the Presiding Officer. I would support her. My main function as an assemblyman and as an assistant secretary in the Division of Tourism, Culture and Antiquities. And as I smile here, one of the things I've learned is to manage expectations and to deal with human beings, because the reality is I have a very good relationship with the stakeholders, and that's because of constant communication. But it's not all hunky-dory all the time. They want what they want, and we have to be able to manage the situation and deal with the resources that we have. And sometimes the answers that you would have to give, they won't like, but you have to be strong in your conviction that you're doing the correct thing.
All right, now you're pretty young. How does that work? How does your, or is it your youthful exterior? How does that youthful exterior work when you have to treat with stakeholders to get the job done? They may tend to look at you and say, young boy, little boy, but how does it work for or against you when you have to get the job done, when you have to meet with stakeholders and to, take your leadership stance?
Well, I'm not someone that would just say no. It's about the dialogue, explaining why certain things can't happen. It's not just saying, well, that can't happen, and this. It's not. We're not going to be able to do it this way because of such and such. And I take the route of explaining and having the conversation. Whether I am 18 or I am 60, I'm the person in the position. I am the person that has to be responsible for the public purse. and I will make the decision based on the facts that are given to me, and I will explain that. And I mean that's just it. If they are, if they can't accept that, then I'm sorry, but that's just the way it goes. I have to be accountable for the public purse.
All right, let's talk a little bit about some of the challenges that you would have faced now. Uneasy is the head that wears the crown.
Yes, it is.
All right, and this is you here as Assistant Secretary for the Division of Tourism, Culture, Antiquities and Transportation. Some of the challenges that you would have faced being able to deliver.
All right, so this wouldn't just be singled out to myself. In terms of legislatively, as an assistant secretary, the act doesn't really speak to an assistant secretary. So you would have to go through the secretary, and that the secretary in herself would have her duties as well. So it's about forming the communication and having the communication key. I can't sign for myself.
Right.
So I have to go through someone there. And one would appreciate that that would slow down any process that has to take place. I also have a good relationship with the administrator, but really and truly, the channel is it has to go through the secretary, then to the administrator. So that slows down stuff as well. I understand the gist and the purpose of the Procurement Act, but it slows every single thing down. And sometimes one would appreciate, especially in the culture field, and even outside of that, there are some opportunities that come and you would need to make a very quick decision. But once procurement is involved, it becomes very difficult to sometimes to make those decisions that are pretty much spur, well, not really spur of the moment, but opportunities that come with a very small time frame.
Time sensitive.
The time sensitive ones.
All right.
You know,
what sort of timeline are we looking at when you have to go through the procurement? So
standard procurement would take you at least a month, 2 weeks to a month. And you see, there is single select and sole select, but you don't want to be, in politics there is reality and there's perception. And you don't want to be perceived as taking a shortcut around a legal standing. So in terms of the timelines of deliveries and in terms of some opportunities that you would have to allow to go, I mean, you would have planned things along the way. But then there are some opportunities. So I'll give you an example, like Dutch diving, right? Which was hugely successful.
Congratulations.
And procurement almost denied Tobagonians the opportunity to host Dutch diving. And that would have been so bad for this island and this island's economy, because what we saw this year is just the beginning. It's going to be bigger and better, and I really can't. The ink is just dry and some new things that I cannot release as yet. But I'm sure to tell you that pretty soon Tobagonians will be blown away by the huge strides we have made in terms of what Dutch diving is going to bring to Tobago in terms of not only economic value, but in terms of marketing for our island and the viewership that would be looking at it.
All right. So we're gonna take a quick break here, but when we come back, we're gonna delve a little bit deeper into the Assemblyman Niall George, and he'll tell us a little bit about how life has changed for him within the last 4 years since taking office, and we're gonna get a little bit more into some of his accomplishments before we get into the goals for the future. So viewers, stay tuned. It is Beneath the Surface, straight talk, no chaser.
Our world is filled with rhythm. Rhythm that's unapologetic, infectious, timeless. Rhythm is commitment in action. It's how we show up for each other with unrelenting support that goes the distance. Rhythm lives in the tiny beats of our most intimate moments and the seismic roars of our biggest achievements. Rhythm is resilience in motion. So even when things go out of sync, we do what it takes to bring the rhythm back. At Flow, we understand your rhythm because we live it. That's why we're dedicated to building a network as resilient as you, with a team of familiar faces working every day to keep you on beat. You're at the heart of everything we do, and our commitment is to keep your rhythm flowing, no matter what.
Are you in a dispute with a registered investment service provider of the TTSEC? Or maybe you're the victim of an investment scam? You can lodge a complaint or submit an anonymous tip to the Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission. Download our Investor Protection app or go to ttsec.org.tt to access our complaint form or submit an anonymous tip. Write a clear summary of your complaint. Submit copies of supporting documents along with the originals for verification. Provide a copy of the feedback received from the entity regarding your complaint. All investor complaints or scam reports submitted by the public are acknowledged and reviewed by the TTSEC. Investigations are pursued based on the outcome of the review. Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission, protecting the interests of investors and the public. You invest, we protect. Everyone benefits.
The Caribbean is more than just a place. It's a spirit, resilient, vibrant, and full of possibility. Rooted in connection, driven by community. It's who we are at the heart of everything we do. For over 150 years, we've been right here, invested in the Caribbean, its people, and its progress. And today, we're going even further. Liberty Business, rooted in the Caribbean, committed to you.
Viewers, welcome back this morning. It is Beneath the Surface, straight talk, no chaser. And we're still chatting this morning with Assemblyman Niall George. Now, just before we took the break, we were talking about some of the accomplishments and achievements. We want to flow a little bit more delve a little bit deeper into some of these accomplishments, some of these hats off moments that the Assemblyman would have experienced over the 4-year period. Now, you created history, according to one report. You created history, and I wanted to talk a little bit about it because we live in a Tobago that persons we don't feel that we have enough. We don't feel that we have enough, particularly in the area of street lighting. Let's talk about the street lighting. And this is the rural electrification project, and you said it's ongoing.
It's ongoing.
All right. Now, you created history, according to this report. He was able to make history while being responsible for public utilities and rural development, and where you saw the largest single investment in street light and rural electrification, 113 street lights installed from Kings Bay to Charlottesville. 516 streetlights installed island-wide. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Yes, and that's something that I'm very proud of, because I represent Plymouth Blackrock. My mother is from Plymouth. My father, deceased, is from Speyside.
Oh, so you have some country roots.
Country roots, right? And even as a child going to to Speyside, one would appreciate that from the time you left Dallaford heading into Kings Bay, it was complete darkness.
Yes.
Until you got into the village of Speyside, right? So we invested approximately $3 million into street lighting, and that's the largest injection at one point in time. We had conversations with T&Tech in terms of an arrangement where we could pay some upfront and some as the monies became available. They told us no. We'd have to get the total injection, right? But the ironic thing about that area is that we paid the total sum and then they were unprepared because they didn't even have the number of street lights on an island.
Available.
So it took us a while, they had to order. So we paid this money and in turn we now had to wait for them to deliver it.
Would have had.
Yeah, so, but it wasn't just that area, it was around the entire island. Each district benefited from it, and that's something I'm very happy about, because although I am the area representative of Plymouth Blackrock, I swore to serve Tobago as well.
And this was while you were
at the division of settlements. Yeah.
Yes. All right. And I mean, there's still more to be done.
More to be done.
There is definitely more to be done. And I'm really happy that you said
that. And as you said that, some people saying it's not enough. I don't think it will ever be enough. The reward for good work is always more work.
Hard work.
More work.
No, I mean, we live in Tobago and I live in the east, and we have seen, from Hope, John Dial, as you go along that beach stretch there is room for improvement where street lights are concerned. I mean, if you have to get home to see clearly, it must be before 6:30.
And again, that's where I continue to speak about the tempering of the expectations. And it's normal human nature when you see your neighbor getting something that someone would say, well, what's wrong with me? But we have to go bit by bit. And we are conscious that the entire island is in need of these services. But as I would say again, we would only be able to do as the resources are available. The area between Speyside, between Kings Bay and Speyside, one would have to appreciate that in terms of the tourism thrust. You have the Kings Bay beach there, you have the Speyside, Charlottesville, where Pirates Bay and all of these areas are instrumental to our tourism products. So there are factors that go into considering which areas would be done and when. But we are mindful that each district on the island needs to be serviced.
All right, and that is the truth.
That's the truth.
All right, let's talk about how your life has changed since taking office. The last 4 years, it's been a long time. What has happened in your life that has made a significant impact on who you are today?
Well, I moved from being a father of one to pretty much a father of a district. You know, everyone now comes to the area representative, and in some terms, sometimes things that people come to you you're wondering, well, why aren't you going to the private sector to assist in some of these things? Every single event that is run, every single thing that is done in a district, a letter would come to you in terms of some sort of assistance. You know, when you'd have funerals, it's just
so you try to attend all of these functions.
It's impossible for me to attend all. I would try to attend as many as I can. I would try to send some sort of representation. I would try to offer some sort of support, whether it's in terms of getting some tents, some chairs, you know, whichever way that you can assist. But it changes your whole, there is no privacy in terms of, I mean, you would go out to have dinner and so what I laugh at is they'd be like, I know now is not the best time, but you know, and you just have to be patient, you have to listen, you can't help everyone. It's impossible. And I mean, I just try to do the best that I can do and leave the rest with God.
How has that impacted your personal life? I mean, trying to be everything to all men.
It's, as Megan said before, sometimes people would think the way that we're doing it, we're making it too easy, but it's not an easy thing to separate work from home sometimes. Sometimes without you even realizing it, you take the work home. And in terms of taking the work home, I mean in terms of the stresses of the job sometimes, you know. But when I get home, I try to take a little half an hour, sit down, decompress, you know, call back the people that I didn't get a chance to answer during the day because I may have been in a meeting or so forth. Because one of the things that I would have put in place is, if I'm in a meeting, I would let my PA answer my phone. And they would just tell you, no, I don't want to speak to you, I want to speak to the assemblyman. So even if you try to put some systems in place, sometimes
it's
very difficult because, and that's understandable in this very small, intimate society that is called Tobago. They would pretty much tell them, no, I didn't vote for you. I would like to speak to the assemblyman.
I guess, and rightly so.
And rightly so.
Now, I want to share a little bit of a conversation that we had even during the break, that you have just started exercising again.
Yes.
Why is that? Straight talk, no chaser. What?
Well, one would appreciate that culture has probably the most stakeholders in any division in Tobago. And you would have meetings at work with staff, meetings at work, and sometimes in these long meetings, they would go past your lunchtime, and you are now in a situation where you're eating very late, if at all.
What is available?
Eating what is available.
The wrong thing.
Which most times are the wrong things. And then the long days, you have to find a way to fit it in. And I have made a conscious decision to take back control of my health, because I did not enter politics like this. And I do not intend to go out of politics out of shape. So I've started exercising again. I have changed my diet and I've started eating right again, because, I mean, at the end of this, I am responsible for me and I have to take care of myself at times.
Okay, so is it walking, running?
Well, I've started walking because I've put on so much weight that I wouldn't be able to run at this moment without injuring myself. So I've started walking and I've changed my diet. And as it progresses, I would go back into things that I would have done before: swimming, running, you know, playing football, back into that. So, yeah.
Now, you did mention earlier on that you are very heavy into sports, but because of politics, you just haven't had the time.
I still am able to follow bits and bits, but I was an avid sport fan. I would even think like American football, golf, equestrian. Once there's a sport involved, I look at Olympics, I mean, track and field. I would have followed it all.
All right. And I hope you get a chance to get back involved. Let's talk about some of the concerns and the areas. Now, within your electoral district, Plymouth, Blackrock, we want to talk about some of the concerns within the community. We notice here that 2 other persons have also nominated themselves vying for the position of area representative, or putting themselves out there to represent the area, coming up against you.
Yes.
What does it suggest to you? Is it that, according to Megan Morrison, you've made the job look too easy? Are they dissatisfied with your representation? What is it?
Well, we are living in a democratic society, and the TPP is a democratic organization. I can't speak to the ambition of others. You know, there would always be people for and against. No matter what you do, you would have people supporting you, you'd have people against you. What I do know is that in terms of Nile George, there is a process. I go through the process, and at the end of the process, if I am successful, I hit the road as the TPP candidate. If I am not successful, I hit the road supporting the TPP candidate, because it's all about Tobago. And that's the most important thing to me. I look at it as I got a 4-year contract and I am vying for another 4-year contract.
Okay.
So there is no animosity. There will be no animosity from Nile George at all, any which way that the pendulum swings. But in terms of the concerns in my district, my district is, I refer to my district as the most rural of the districts in the east, because although the name of the district is Plymouth Blackrock, it involves Fairbanks, Mount Hay, Marys Hill, parts of Union.
East or west?
Mary's Hill?
Yeah, this is west.
This is west. It's west.
Right.
Parts of Union, parts of Wynn. The borders of my district actually touch 6 other districts in the west. So it gives you, when you look at the name of the district, it does not tell the true tale of the size of the district.
Okay.
And the connectivity in terms of roads such as Orange Hill Trace, where they refer to as Macrabat, Mountie. These areas are in need of some serious upgrade in terms of road work. But these are things that have been left undone for 21 years. So you would also have to appreciate the nature of and the size of these projects. We're talking about simple roads that may take upwards of $20 million. And when resources are scarce, it would be very difficult to do these things. But now that we have, and this is on behalf of the people of Plymouth Blackrock speaking to the Secretary of Infrastructure, now that we are afforded some more resources, I do not expect all at one time, but I would love to see progress being made in terms of the infrastructural development in my district, because we live in the West where when you look around, and I would admit that where most of the development has gone in the past. But if you pass through some areas in my district, you would have to admit that it was not shared in these areas. I mean, there are persons that own properties in these areas, but because of access in terms of roads, they aren't able to move to these places. And I believe that we could create economic activity in these areas by simple things such as roadways. You'd allow someone to build, or allow people to build, then you would have a shop because you now have a population, and that's the way I look at it,
All right, I'm glad that you mentioned, the size of your electoral district and having it bound, with other
districts.
6 others, right? What sort of measures are being put in place to? Now, I know Plymouth to be somewhat of a business-oriented village, but what other initiatives are being employed to create business opportunities within the electoral district? At the end of the day, I guess as an area representative, you want to see your electoral district stand on its own. You want to see businesses popping up. You want to see people living, not just surviving, but living. So what are some of the initiatives?
Well, we are, the District of Plymouth is the only district in Tobago that has 3 tourist attractions in a very small space, which would be the monument, the Mystery Tombstone, and the fort, right? Again, tourism is looking at adding value to these attractions. We would like to have booths, toilet facilities, so that people would not just come in and go back out. We want to set a platform where people could spend the time, like you could keep a picnic, because you don't have to worry about where the washroom facilities are and so forth. And then with booths, you would be able to buy food and so forth. So you could actually go there and spend the day. Naturally, in just the traffic being increased, the other businesses would benefit as well. But one of the problems that we have at the fort is that we are dealing with massive erosion of the land. And that's where that's one of the areas that the CAF loan that we were denied would have dealt with. And you see the knockdown effects, and I'm going to get a bit political here, right? I would sit in the house and hear the minority leader speaking about what have we done, and we haven't done this, and they so care about Tobago, but he sits in the seat of Darrell Springwim and would have supported a government that would have stymied us at every single direction. All that CAF loan needed was a signature from the Minister of Finance.
And was denied.
And it was denied, just like the export license. So these things are very close to me. When you sit outside, it's totally different from being inside. And at settlements as well. We did a draw for the Riseland, and I was there as the Assistant Secretary for the Riseland Housing Project. And that would have been 3 years ago. And to this day, all you needed were the approvals from central government, and we would not have received them. The Prime Minister came to Tobago promising to deliver that, and you would see the difference in the economic fortunes of the island, because a housing project is a large thing in terms of economic upturn for the island.
All right. But we're going to pause here. We're going to take a quick break. Viewers, stay tuned. It is Beneath the Surface. Straight talk, no chaser. We want to hear from Assemblyman Niall George, in terms of some of his goals. Should he be re-elected for a second term, what are some of the projects that he'd like to see come to fruition and some of the projects that he'd like to undertake? So we're going to chat with him and on some of these and other issues when we come back from the break this morning. It is Beneath the Surface. Straight talk, no chaser.
Our world is filled with rhythm. Rhythm that's unapologetic, infectious, timeless. Rhythm is commitment in action. It's how we show up for each other with unrelenting support that goes the distance. Rhythm lives in the tiny beats of our most intimate moments and the seismic roars of our biggest achievements. Rhythm is resilience in motion. So, even when things go out of sync, we do what it takes to bring the rhythm back. At Flow, we understand your rhythm because we live it. That's why we're dedicated to building a network as resilient as you, with a team of familiar faces working every day to keep you on beat. You're at the heart of everything we do, and our commitment is to keep your rhythm flowing, no matter what.
Viewers, welcome back. We're still chatting. It is Beneath the Surface, straight talk, no chaser. Our guest is still on set with us, Assemblyman Niall George. And, as we took the break a little while ago, we want to hear from him in just a little while some of his goals. Should he be re-elected as for a second term in office? Now, Mr. George, Assemblyman George, some of the word on the ground is that persons are not satisfied with your performance. And I know you spoke a little bit to that a little while ago. But how do you respond to that? I mean, you can't be all things to all men, but how do you respond to that?
I will respond to that by saying that if you go to certain persons, they would say that the answer to that question could be politically motivated. It could be personally motivated. It could be that someone wanted something that they just could not get at the time. And you would go to other persons and the answer would be totally different. And after all, I was nominated, so that I had to have people supporting me in terms for that to happen, But generally speaking, in terms of governance, it's not easy to be in this position when resources aren't there. Because, as I said before, we had a population with a very high expectation and a very, in terms of the resources to deal with it, it wasn't there the way we would like it to be. We have been working on creating streams of additional revenue, and we have been arguing for Tobago's fair share of the budget. And if you look now, you will appreciate that the situation has improved a lot. All right. So, I mean, it depends on where you go. There would always be people for, there would always be people against. I just take the criticism positively, look at it, assess, and continue to move on.
What would you like the public to know about public life or office, functioning in office, and that you think they just do not understand, or maybe that you didn't understand before getting involved in politics?
It's a test on your mental toughness.
It's a test on
your mental strength. You have to have mental strength, because they are always going, even in the midst of positivity and a lot of things being done, there would be days when even you would question yourself in terms of when you're trying to get certain things done and you're just not able to get it done. It weighs on you. You're a human being as well. You're not a machine. You're an emotional creature, and you have to dust yourself up and keep on moving. Just keep on. Some of the things you just have to do. You know that there, as you said, there would be people for, there would be people against, but do. It's like the Tobago Carnival. Before it happened, we questioned it, and majority of those persons, sometimes you have to let the results speak for you. You know, so, but yeah, the one thing that I've learned is you just have to keep on moving.
Okay. How would you grade yourself? A to F. A being the highest grade, F being, of course, the lowest. How would you grade yourself in terms of representation?
An honest grade for me, I would give myself a C. I have room to improve, but as I said before, I won't beat myself up on it, because it's not like, to be honest, it was OJT for a period, and as you have gotten to understand and learn the system as well, you are able to execute things a lot better, a lot faster now. So I would not be too harsh on myself. And if you were to look around again, this thing has to be judged in context. You know, if you just look at it, you hear the thing, governance is continuous being thrown around. Right? The reality is we came into office, and it's not like we could forget what happened before us. We said we would fix it, and we are fixing it. It may not be, the fixing may not be going at the pace that others would like, but we are fixing it. But the things to fix were so many that even though, and let me just say this area, one of the things that got us into problems before is that the population, if they don't see things being built, they don't feel as though things are being done. Right? If you inherit a debt of $900 million as a government, and after 4 years you get that down to $400 million while still managing to keep the island going, you are doing an excellent job, because that debt that could be hanging over your head going forward, reducing that is very important, but the general public would not see that and would not rate that as something that is being done.
Would not rate it as a success.
As a success, but that is perhaps the most important thing that you can do for your island. You know, so it's not just about putting new things in place. It's about fixing and setting up structures to maintain the investment, the dollars, the taxpayers' dollars that you have spent, cutting that and still managing to do some new things, which is exactly what we have done, while focusing on keeping people alive.
Are you accepting of the current position that you hold as Assistant Secretary within Community Development?
No, tourism.
Within tourism. Are you currently satisfied with your role, with your position?
Yes, I am, because to me that's a controversial question that that again, I like to put things into context, right? I appreciate the difficulty of the situation that the chief secretary is in, right? Because there can only be 9 secretaries, right? We increased the number of seats from 12 to 15, and there was no adjustment in terms of the legislation for the number of secretaries. So one would have to appreciate that there are more, and we then won 14 to 1. So we had 14 assemblymen, which would have been the largest number on one side, because even at the 12-0 when the PNM won all, they only had 12 assemblymen. So we started with 14 assemblymen, right? And then you add to that 3 councillors, that's 17 people, and only 9 secretaries. So, I mean, everyone aspires to move upward in any job, likewise myself. But I appreciate the 4-year period of being an assistant secretary. That allows me to learn the system, it allows me to improve, and I am here at the behest of the chief secretary, and wherever the chief secretary puts me to work, I will just get to work.
But if given an opportunity to select, the chief says, Assemblyman George, you can select the division you'd like to function in.
At that point in time, I would tell the chief secretary my answer. I wouldn't tell the public that, as I said.
Well, it's straight talk, no chaser.
No, it's straight talk, and the straight talk is that would be a conversation between the chief secretary and myself, not a conversation between the public and myself. If the public asked me that question, I would tell them that I serve at the behest of the chief secretary.
All right. Let's talk about some of your goals. Should you be re-elected for second term in office?
The main cry of my district is infrastructure, right? And I would like to see infrastructural improvement in my district. I mean, there are areas like Roselle, areas like Fairbanks, areas like Orange Hill, that if I could have access, proper access delivered in these areas, I know that I would have done something that no one has done in 20 plus years before me. And to me, that would be a great achievement. But in terms of the overall district, and this one is tied in between division and district, right? If you look at the district of Plymouth Blackrock, we have 3 playing grounds, we have 3 hotels, we have the beach football arena, which is an international standard arena. I would like to, I'm working on, let me just say like that, I'm working on my district becoming the sport tourism capital of the island. It's the layout and the infrastructure is already there. It's just for us to make the investment and push. We already have the Rainbow Cup and anything, the Rugby Sevens that takes place there. We have volleyball taking place there as well. And it's just for us to tie all of these things in. The good thing is I am also sports tourism in the division. And we are about a week or 2 away from presenting the sport tourism policy to the Executive Council that would allow for the build out of the sport tourism department. And also under my care is the Antiquities Department, which is the build out is being led by Technical Advisor Dr. Charleston Thomas. And these things are things that would be instrumental in terms of preserving our artifacts and our history in terms of culture. And well, Tobago being the tourism island of the two, most naturally we have to find different ways, not only the sand and sun and the vacationing, but different ways to bring persons to the island. Because one would appreciate in terms of building business, we need that artificial population to help us as well.
All right, and boosting our culture even as we... Yeah. And even as we look at the cruise ship season kicking off pretty soon, what measures are being employed to showcase Tobago's talent, and Tobago's culture?
From a cultural standpoint, we have been encouraging groups to not only focus on heritage. You could create a showcase that would encourage tourists to pass along, and you could use that as an avenue to showcase our talent. It doesn't have to be the entire show. It could be a tidbit, and that's part of the reasons why we would have problems in some persons not even wanting to come off of the cruise ship. It's about what are they coming off to, what's the experience.
What do I have to see? What is there to offer? What are the offerings?
You know, and that would also help in reducing the heritage bill, because then you would be able to make some money outside of the heritage season. So that's something that we have been encouraging groups to become more self-sufficient and look. It's not just about waiting for the Heritage Festival to come to the division. We have to work outside of the period as well, because you are a heritage group. It can't be that at Heritage Time alone, that's the only time you all are showcasing your community's heritage or cultural products.
All right, and finally here, what would you like to say to the people of Tobago? You know, even as you are vying, you're putting yourself out there again. You say, look, I'm throwing my hat into the ring because the
TPP is the best vehicle to go forward, to carry Tobago upwards to becoming the greatest little island on the planet. Part of the course. Don't be fooled. This is all part of the plan that they have been coming. If you looked at the last general election, the question is, what are they doing? What have they been doing? But we have focused on people over things. And now that we have an increased allocation, we would be able to work on these things. You know, it's no use having a building if someone isn't even healthy to go into the building. And I'm just saying that we are now receiving some support that we did not receive from the central government. We have laid the platform and we are ready to put up the structure and just allow us to build the building. That is the greatest little island on the planet. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Assemblyman Niall George, for chatting with us this morning. And viewers, we've got lots more coming up next week, so you're able to join us here 8 o'clock on Monday through Friday for GMT, and it's all beneath the surface, straight talk, no chaser. We want to thank you for joining us today and for this week gone by, for being with us, for sharing our space, for allowing us into your homes. And we trust that you have a really great day, have a wonderful weekend, stay safe, and we will see you, God willing, on Monday. Bye-bye, Tobago.
Television.